Jerome Kels, Michael Seifensider, and Hans Oberacker, A.D. 1536. In the beginning of the year 1536, Jerome Kels of Kufstein, Michael Seifensider of Wald in Bohemia, and Hans Oberacker from Etschland were dispatched to go into the earldom of Tyrol, Acts 13:2. But when they arrived at Vienna in Austria, they were apprehended, having been betrayed by the host with whom they had lodged, Acts 4:3. Acts 5:26. While they were eating supper, the people tried to ascertain their character by drinking to their health, but when they perceived that they would not respond, the host had some paper brought and wrote a letter in Latin, which among other things read as follows: "Here are 3 persons who appear to me to be Anabaptists," but he did not know that Brother Jerome understood Latin. Then said Jerome to the other brethren, they would watch together, let things go as the dear Lord should please. 2 hours afterwards the constables came and brought them bound before the judge, and when they had been examined, they were put in prison. 8 days afterwards the judge had them brought before him and his assessors, where they were told to recant. Brother Jerome said that they themselves should forsake their unbelief and not so falsely bear the name of God or of Christ. Thereupon the judge became highly incensed at Jerome, and when the latter said that they were no Christians, the judge said, "You are a desperately wicked fellow." And though he was asked this as much as 10 times, he constantly confessed as before. The assessors then said, "This reprobate fellow is not worthy that your wisdom should become enraged at him." They were then led back into prison, and the judges were highly offended at Jerome and his brethren. After another 8 days the judge again summoned all 3 of them before him, taking to him 3 of the most wicked priests. When these would speak with Jerome, contemned our calling, reviled our faith, and said that they were sent to instruct them regarding their error. Jerome boldly and fearlessly said, "We are in the right way, our calling is from God, and Christ has taught us that we should not hear a stranger's voice." John 10:5. He also said, "We are willing to give an answer to every man and to show the ground of our hope, but with monks and priests who are sent by the Pope, who is the Antichrist, we do not desire to speak, for they are great rogues, whoremongers, perjurers, deceivers, and seducers, even as these." Thereupon the judge said, "My good Jerome, you do not yet know these good lords." Jerome said, "God is my Lord, but not they." Matthew 11:25, Luke 10:21. He then, for almost 2 hours and a quarter, gave answer concerning the Mass, original sin, infant baptism, calling, and their awful idolatrous sacrament. Then followed many entreaties that he should regard his dear life, wife, and child, and take to heart their sincere promise, and that he should pray to God they would also. But he said that they had the truth and would adhere to it. They might do what they pleased, and as they could also not overcome the other brethren with their poison, the judge remanded them to prison, in which they sang comforting hymns together and rejoiced in God. And as they could hear each other, they called to one another, comforting and strengthening one another. They also delivered their written confession of faith, with full proof from the Holy Scriptures, to the lords at Vienna, and to the judge. To the aforesaid brother Hans Oberacker the day of the Lord appeared 3 times, as he informed us, from prison, and he saw unutterable things with the eyes of the Spirit, also with his bodily eyes. He saw the condition of the children of God, and how great grace they received from God. On the other hand, how mighty and terrible this day is for the wicked, so that he prayed that God would never let him incur this wrath, which is so great and dreadful upon wickedness. Malachi 3:17, Malachi 4:1 and 2. Many attempts having been made to prevail upon these brethren, and they remaining steadfast in the faith as strong soldiers and lovers of God, they were condemned to death by the children of Pilate, and burned to ashes at Vienna on the Friday preceding Judica, in Lent of the aforesaid year.